This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
She's amazing in her ability to inspire us to be creative. We all have creativity. I know many say, well, I'm not creative. I can't paint. I can't draw. Yes, you can. And she helps foster that. But along the way, she also helps us see us in what we create. And there's therapy in that, there's lessons in that. And we're going to take a look at color today and how that can vary depending on the situation. She's a certified art therapist. So great to have her back with us as our professional of the year. Barbara Robertson is on the program. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, color changes. Actually, it's a little bit magical because so these four square patches in the middle of these different hues, the different colors that is surrounding them are the same actual color. It's a post-it note, so they all come out pretty close to exactly the same when it's a one color post-it note pad. But if you look closely, you might find that the colors look a little bit different against the different backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be fairly subtle, but what do you notice?
So we have, and if you can't see this, we're going to describe it as well. If you're listening, we have, uh, now call it a canvas, piece of paper, whatever, with a large amount of color on it: red, black, green, and purple, and then the yellow post-it notes in the middle. With the red one, I'm seeing, and it's I'm not there, so the screens can vary, but I'm going to say that that has a almost a bluish tint to it in some way. The black one, I'm not 100% sure what color I'm seeing or what I'm seeing. I'm not really sure on that one. I don't know why. The green one, can you move your head just a little bit? Because there's it's is a shadow on it. There we
Oh,
go.
oh yeah. Yeah, let me get my shadow up.
That almost looks like it's a shade, again, a kind of a bluish kind of feel to it. And then the purple one almost looks like there's a green feel to it. I don't know why I'm not getting anything with the black. Could there be a reason because it's black and it's not really a color, it's a shade?
It could be. Yeah. Yeah, it
Hmm.
could be because there's not a particularly strong hue to it. It's just dark. And so, I mean, the yellow may look a little bit paler on that one, although as I'm looking from the side over here, in a way it actually looks yellower than the yellow on the kind of lavender blue color to my eye. But it's pretty subtle, so it's not a huge difference with this particular shade. And I've got a couple of other post-it notes underneath. So
Oh,
let's
wow. Okay.
what happens with a pink color, if I can get them to separate. There we go.
Hmm.
There we go. All right.
What's
There's
interesting too is I'm
one.
glad you have layers of post-it notes because initially I can't see that there are layers, but initially I might be thinking that, oh, wait a minute, I'm seeing the original color come through the post-it note, and that's actually what's going on, but it's not.
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So what's happening with the pinks?
So the red to me has a kind of a purple vibe to it. The black, maybe I'm defective here. I don't know why I'm not picking up a color. I don't know what it is. I'm going to go back to that one. The green, I'm seeing a bluish kind of vibe to it. And with that purple, for me, it's kind of a yellow, just like a hint. And Is there any wrong answer or any right answer?
Oh, there's really not, but typically, in terms of what happens with like the color vibrations, it's not surprising that you would be seeing something that's the opposite of purple in the pink.
So it's opposite color.
So it's kind of its opposite color that would come out. Like a red would take some of the red out of the pink. So it might look paler.
Or do you mean the original splash of color could look paler?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the surrounding color is kind of what pulls itself out of the color that's next to it.
Hmm. Interesting. I'm challenged by the black. I'm not seeing anything but the pink on the black.
How does the pink, like, look back and forth from the pink against the black to the pink against the green, say? And again, there's my shadow. Let me get that shadow out of the way.
Yeah, I see a bluish tone within the green, just a hint, ever so slight. And with the black, I'm not getting anything. It's if anything, I'd say, well, it looks like there's a little black coming through the pink post-it note, but that's not the case. It's impossible because you're layered with another one underneath it. But I'm not, maybe a bluish vibe to it as well, but I'm not. It's almost
Well,
weird.
what do you see a difference between the pink against the black and the pink against the green? Or the pink against the black versus the pink against the lavender, the purplish?
Yeah, I mean, I feel I have different colors that I'm seeing that the black I'm not seeing. Nothing. I can't even identify it. Really nothing.
Well, I mean, I think right now you're trying to identify the pink compared to the black, but compare the pinks from from this pink to this pink.
The pink on the green is definitely darker. Like the pink on the black is brighter.
Okay.
And
Okay.
could
Yeah,
that be
I would agree.
a
I would
con?
agree.
Is that a contrast thing going on there?
I think it is. In this case, it is. Yeah, because with the black, there's really not much hue in the color wheel. So it's just really a matter of value, light and dark. And so, yeah, the pink is going to look lighter against the black because that's probably the one with the strongest contrast. And it's
That's what I'm
looking
seeing.
paler. Yeah, and it's looking paler to me against this because there's less contrast here.
And every time the color looks brighter on the black, which to me, what might seem like it's the contrast because the black is darker, so it's going to make the color on it look brighter.
Right, right. It's going to make the colors kind of really pop
Yep.
because it's kind of the maximum contrast that you can get. All right, let's see what happens with.
What are you seeing? You haven't told us.
Oh gosh, uh, I'm going to have to kind of stand up and turn around here and have a look. To get my foot out of the trap. Okay, looking at it here, the pink definitely looks the most intense to me against the black. And it looks bluer to me against the red than it does against the lavender. And the green one looks redder.
The green, the
The
green
pink
post-it note on the green
post-it note
looks
on the green looks like a stronger red component in the pink. it and the black are fairly similar to my eye.
The green and the black.
Yeah. But
Could
again,
that?
that's the contrast as much as anything.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
So the last one is the trusty blue post-it note.
I already have some thoughts initially. Weird. Hmm. With the green, blue post-it notes now on these colors. With the green, that blue looks very dark on top of that green, whereby on the black, it looks very bright, which is interesting
Yeah.
because you wouldn't think it that way, but maybe it's because the tonal quality of the post-it note and the green are kind of close to each other.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. I think so.
And then looking at the purple, I think the blue looks very, very blue, very blue. Whereby looking at it on the red, it's got a almost like a dirty blue. We're leading into another color. Could be maybe.
Yeah, a little bit grayish, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
radically different from the red to the black. And I think that the difference in the color or tonality of the post-it notes, it's radically different with the blue on the blue and the black. I'm sorry, on the red and the black than it was with any other post-it note color.
yeah. I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right. It's also interesting. I'm noticing now here that also the borders of the blue patch are much sharper against the red and the black, and they almost look like they're a little bit blending in spots around the edges between into the purple and the green.
Hmm.
They're not as the edges don't feel as sharp because there's more similarity in this and this where it's against the lighter tones. And here also it just doesn't look as strong a square.
The other thing I'm seeing with the black, with the blue post-it note on top of it, is in the lighter parts of the black, where the brushstrokes are, I see the blue,
Yeah, there is a little bit of blue in there.
right?
Yeah, so the blue is calling out the blue in a way that the pink and the yellow just did not.
It's a nice harmony going on there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I thought it would just be kind of fun to see, what happens when we mix colors without actually mixing colors.
Now you said earlier, trying to remember if it was the yellow or the pink, when it was on the purple, that it's calling out its opposite color. Is that is that fairly common, or that really depends on the colors that are mixed together?
I think it probably really depends on the colors, the shade of the color, and probably the color of the light it's being viewed in. Probably all those things make a little bit of a difference.
See, you've been doing this a long time. How do you decide what colors to use? So let's say you're doing an abstract, and I've seen you've showed us before things that you've done, but they work so well together. How do you know? How do you pick the colors? I think many of us might struggle with that,
Well, you know what? The way that I started out turned out to be such a blessing to me because what I started with was paints that a client in therapy had left on a palette, unused in their artwork. And so it was really like a random selection of colors that I chose to use because they probably were a different set of colors than I myself would have chosen kind of instinctively. And so I thought, yeah, let me get out of my comfort zone and play with these colors that I don't necessarily see as going together.
hmm,
Oh, and I just got this great little dish that says
Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Oh, it's we have a saying, my friends and I, and part of a men's group I shared. Um, one of our values that we adopted, there's like five of them, embrace discomfort.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. I have a version of that called Embrace the Chaos.
Whatever works.
Same difference, though, really. Same difference. It's
Hmm.
just, when you move a little bit outside what you would normally do, you're really opening yourself to recognize what else, beyond your comfort zone, what else would stir you? What else would move you? What else would bring up a kind of energy? What does that energy feel like? And so I
Hmm.
just really, once I start playing with the paints, what I'm doing is I'm just putting them together to see what happens and how I feel when I see what happens.
Well, that's kind of what we're in a different way. You get out of your comfort zone in terms of just using the safe colors. This will be okay. I know this is going to come out a certain way and be okay, as opposed to saying, well, you know what? I'm going to grab this color. I'm going to try this one over here. I'm going with my intuition, which is probably going to be right too, in terms of the color, because you're seeing it, your brain is processing it. It's it's feeling right, whether you realize it or not.
Yes. Yeah. And kind of when you feel that this new combination of colors is getting, stirring something in your heart as you look at it. You're really kind of feeling some, I don't know, some little spark in your energy that is telling you, oh, okay, so this is important. This is something that matters to my system. And
How do you
what,
get out of the comfort zone with creativity? Let's say you're intentional. You want to mess around a little bit, whether it's color, even if you're painting a wall in your house and you gravitate, well, I'm just going to do a light gray because you know it's safe, as opposed to let's go with something a little more bold and vibrant, maybe orange. Um, how do you get out of that? How do you break that mold and embrace the
well,
discomfort?
I think sometimes, I got excited when they started selling these little tiny cans of wall paint that
Yes,
would cover 2 square feet on the wall. And so you could go home and, you could paint it in the middle of the dining room wall and be pretty sure that you could cover it up if it wasn't to your liking.
yep.
Or you could paint a piece of cardboard. You could paint a piece of foam core and put that up on the walls if you didn't want to have to paint over it, but you could still see what a patch of it would do.
100%. And
Yeah.
I experienced that painting in one house. I wanted like a gold tone on the wall.
Uh-huh.
Could never nail it. So then I started going off into trying to think of what it's called, like a texture. There's a with a sponge.
Oh yeah, sponge painting. I love that. I love that era.
So I mess with, yeah. And this is going back probably I want to say like 2012, somewhere around there. So I, try to get that I wound up painting the wall like a very light cream color. Could not find that gold. Moved. Now I'm at it again. And I don't know, you don't want it too yellow and you don't want it too gold. And I walked into somebody's house. I'm like, there it is. Oh, what is that? And they said, oh, that's Chesterfield buff, whatever that means. And that was the color.
Yeah.
But unless I found it, I would have probably had just a gray wall or whatever it might be. Nothing wrong with that, but it had so much warmth in that room. That was actually a bedroom and my home office. I used the same color upstairs, downstairs. Um, that bedroom it was a tropical vibe, like more of a modern
Oh
tropical vibe
yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
Darker wood
Yeah.
with that yellow, orange, I don't call it orange, golden yellow.
Yes.
But it felt so good. It felt so good finally finding that color.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I went and got an addition to my ink art
Oh wow. Nice.
the other day. because I kind of wanted, I wanted to kind of recognize how much color sort of enlivens me, how much color just has its own kind of vitality. And while I
Hmm.
was having the tattoo done, I was in this room that had gold walls like that, almost like a mango yellow wall. Had a little bit of tan to it. Not quite ochre, not as mud colored as ochre, but it was very vibrant, kind of golden yellow. And there were a couple of potted plants on a black shelf, two black shelves. And as I just sat there and kind of that was the view I had while I was getting this color on my arm, it really started to kind of feel enchanting because the green of the leaves were so vibrant against the yellow. And I know what you mean about the tropical vibe because it was a very warm color. And then the black of the shelves, and the very sharp edges of the shelving underneath the plants really kind of made like, what do I want to call it? It's making me think of staccato in music, it's sort of punch,
Hmm.
just a little bit of emphasis there. And the whole wall together just made this kind of harmonious color composition for me that could just as well have been abstract as not.
So with your tattoo there, and it's on your forearm, for any that anybody can't see it, lots of color going on there. Everything from red, purple, yellow, green, and on, and white, a little bit of white. Here's one thing that stands out,
Tell
Barbara.
me,
There's no borders.
there are no borders. That was very intentional.
That is so unique, and I thought I had seen this on your arm before. No, I did, but we
Yep,
never talked about it. And
right.
I was wondering if it could have been done, if it was a tattoo or it was just paint and you kind of messing around, because there were no borders.
I get that question all the time. Is that paint or is that ink? And it's ink that I'm sort of using. This part that I just added was my kind of fifth episode, my fifth installation over the last couple of years, because there's usually something I want to commemorate that's happening that I want to emphasize. And the first one was kind of realizing, whoa, I'm not just 70, I'm into my 70s here. What do I want? And so I wanted an image about flow and sparkling. And then there were a couple of
Hmm.
events that I wanted to celebrate. So, those made the shapes a little bit different. Um, but each time I've gone to a different artist. So it's also a collaboration, and I kind of tell them what I want, and they do a little sketch with the Sharpie, and I say, yeah, a little more like this. No, that's great. Let's do it. And then their creativity takes over. And that's just so much fun for me to see what each one of them brings to the process.
So unique because I don't have any tats, but I'm working on one soon.
Awesome.
Can I share it?
Totally.
It would be on my upper shoulder, and this is the vision I have, and I haven't worked through it,
Yeah.
but it's going to be one of those old school, large looking microphones.
Okay. Yeah.
Call it something from the 50s, like the old school crooners used to use.
Oh, yeah.
Metal, shiny metal.
Yeah, with a little kind of grid around it.
Yes, yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
And somehow blending a rose because that was my mom's name.
Oh, sweet.
So maybe the stem of the rose could be the cord to the microphone, and then it goes to a rose. And it doesn't have to be a lot of color. That's the
Yeah.
metallic. Whatever that's going to turn out to be. Certainly, the rose could be red, and just the upper half. So that's my vision. Gotta, no pun intended, flesh that out. Um,
Right.
but
Right.
most everyone I know that has a tat or tats always goes to the same artist because of the safety factor. You picked
Uh-huh.
them for the first time.
Uh-huh.
When you did that, you didn't. And what did you do? You embraced discomfort.
exactly. And I didn't actually feel uncomfortable about it. I thought, you know, this is kind of how I want to be living.
You trusted the universe. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to be fine.
Exactly.
Going to do it. But
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, some people identify the concept of God as simply the universe unfolding, reality unfolding.
hmm,
And hearing that, I kind of thought, yeah, that makes sense to me because our job is to exist in reality and find ways to roll with it.
I never realized it until I saw that tattoo without the lines, and it looks so bright and fresh. You could have had it done 10 years ago. It looks so fresh without the lines. Not that they fade. Yeah, they do eventually, but it's not about that. It's just a certain vibe. I just looked at the time. We're over time. How did that even go? It's
Yikes.
just like crazy.
I know it really does fly when we start talking about this cool
I
stuff.
I almost looked up in disbelief. Now the clock's had to be wrong, but no, that one says it's right. This is what you do. You encourage creativity, and through that is therapy. And look at what we talked about today: embracing discomfort, um, and looking at things in a different way, i.e., your tattoo and the colors in back of you.
Right, and sort of vibing with color and wanting to embody the vibe that color creates for my heart. I
Mm.
might not do that for anyone else's heart, but when you feel something that does that for you, whether you're cooking dinner or making music or, doing whatever, really hang on to that and jump in. It's worth it.
Robertson Art Therapy LLC.com. Is that right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you want to chat, email brobertson.atr@gmail.com. Love to hear from anybody who's got observations, questions, similar interests, different interests, wants to know more about creativity, have your own thoughts about creativity. I welcome any kind of conversation.
Bring it on. And how about this? You have a tattoo, maybe a story behind it. We want to take a look at it. I really do. I'm intrigued every day. Hey, maybe it'll give us an idea for our own tats. You can instant feedback, steve@gmail.com. You can reach us there as well. Thank you for today. Very cool.
Excellent. Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, we'll be
Nice
right
to be
back.
here.
This
Bye.
is the Global Podcast Network, where executive. This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.